It's good to be back at Del Sol High School. Go Dragons! Let me just say that whenever I fly to Vegas on Air Force One, the plane's a little more crowded. For some reason, folks want to come to Vegas. But today it was also crowded with a whole bunch of people who've been passionate about making sure America always remains a nation of immigrants, including your Senator, Harry Reid, the leader of the Democrats in the House of Representatives, Nancy Pelosi, some extraordinary members of Congress who've been leading on immigration reform. They are doing unbelievable work, and I want to just name a couple of them, and if I forget somebody, make sure I don't get into trouble. From left to right, we've got Javier Becerra, Ben Lujan, Luis Gutierrez, Dina Titus, Steve Horsford, and Bob Menendez. We've got the son-in-law of Cesar Chavez and a hero to farm workers in his own right, Arturo Rodriguez. And I just want to, and since we're on farm workers, a legend, somebody who's just been a great friend to working people all across the country, Lourdes Huerta is here. Good to see you. Love you. You know, I'm so inspired by the introduction by Astrid. Now, last night I spoke directly to the American people about immigration, and you heard me talk about Astrid. And if you watched her introduction just now, you heard her talk a little bit about herself. She was brought here as a little girl and grew up believing in America and in her identity as an American, just like Malia or Sasha. And then as she grew up, she found out that she was undocumented, which meant she couldn't do all the things her friends could do. She feared that she and her brother could be separated from their dad. And then one day she decided to start advocating for her fellow dreamers and to stand up for her family and to fight to make a difference in this country that she loves. And part of what makes America exceptional is that we welcome exceptional people like Astrid. It makes us stronger. It makes us vibrant and dynamic. It makes us hopeful. We are a nation of immigrants, and that means that we're constantly being replenished with strivers who believe in the American dream, and it gives us a tremendous advantage over other nations. It makes us entrepreneurial. It continues the promise that here in America, you can make it if you try, regardless of where you come from, regardless of the circumstances of your birth. Now, our immigration system has been broken for a very long time, and everybody knows it. As Americans, we believe in fairness, the idea that if we work hard and play by the rules, we can get ahead. But too often, the immigration system feels fundamentally unfair. You've got families who try to come here the right way, but sometimes get separated or stuck in line for years. You've got business owners who are doing the right thing by their workers, offering good wages and benefits, and then you've got companies that are ignoring minimum wage laws or overtime laws, taking advantage of undocumented immigrants, and as a consequence, undercutting the employers who are doing the right thing. All of us take offense to the idea that anybody can reap the rewards of living in America without its responsibilities. And folks like Astrid and Astrid's parents, who desperately want to make amends, embrace the responsibilities of living here, they're forced to either live in the shadows or risk having their families torn apart. We've known about this for years, and we've known we can do better. And for years, we haven't done much about it. Well, today we're doing something about it. Now, when I took office, I committed to fixing this broken system. And I began by doing what I could to secure our borders, because I do believe in secure borders. And over the past 6 years, illegal border crossings have been cut by more than half. Don't let all the rhetoric fool you. There was a brief spike this summer in unaccompanied children being apprehended at the border, but it was temporary, and the number of such children is now actually lower than it's been in nearly 2 years. Overall, the number of people trying to cross our border illegally is at its lowest level since the 1970s, when I was in high school. And I've got gray hair now. So it's been a long time. And nearly 2 years ago, I came here, Del Sol High School, right in this gymnasium. And I said that the time had come for Congress to fix our broken immigration system. And I laid out some basic principles for reform that a lot of different parties could agree on. And what was remarkable was the consensus that started to develop. We had business leaders and labor leaders and evangelical leaders and law enforcement leaders. We had Republicans and we had Democrats and independents. And they all said that, yes, we should secure our borders, we should bring our legal immigration system into the 21st century, and then, once and for all, we should give the 11 million people living in the shadows a chance to make amends and earn their citizenship the right way. So those were our principles. We laid them out. We were very clear. And after I laid out those principles, we then went to work with Congress. And we started in the Senate. And you ended up with a big majority of Democrats and Republicans and independents all coming together in the Senate to pass a bipartisan bill based on these principles. The Senate bill wasn't perfect. It was a compromise. That's how things work in Congress. That's how things work in a democracy. Not everybody was satisfied with every provision, but it was a good, solid, common-sense bill that would have made our immigration system a lot better. Would have doubled the number of Border Patrol agents. So for those who wanted more border security, that was in the bill. It would have made the legal immigration system smarter and fairer. It would have given the opportunity for young people who are talented and who have gotten a degree, maybe in computer science or some technical field, to stay here and work and contribute and create a business and create more jobs. You're welcome. It would have given and it would have given millions of people that chance to get right with the law. But it wasn't just a gift. They would have had to pay a fine. They would have had to learn English. They would have had to get to the back of the line. They would have had to pay back taxes. It was a sensible bill. And all these members of Congress, they worked on it and were supportive of it. And independent experts, not me, people who analyze the economy for a living, they said that over 2 decades, the new law would grow our economy, shrink our deficits. In other words, it would help to solve some big problems in a bipartisan way. And nobody was happier than me. And when it passed the Senate, we said, all right, let's send it over to the House. We've got the votes in the House. We've got Democrats and Republicans who were prepared to vote for it in the House. It has now been 512 days, a year and a half, in which the only thing standing in the way of that bipartisan bill and my desk so that I can sign that bill, the only thing that's been standing in the way is a simple yes or no vote in the House of Representatives. Just a yes or no vote. If they had allowed a vote on that kind of bill, it would have passed. I would have signed it. It would be the law right now. These leaders right here tried to make it happen. Nancy Pelosi kept on saying to John Boehner, let's just call the bill. See where it goes. There are Republicans who worked hard on this bill too, and they deserve credit. Because even though it wasn't necessarily popular in their party, they knew it was the right thing to do. But despite that, the party leadership in the House of Representatives would not let it come forward. And I cajoled, and I called, and I met. I told John Boehner, I'll wash your car, I'll walk your dog, whatever you need to do. Just call the bill. That's how democracy is supposed to work. And if the votes hadn't been there, then we would have had to start over. But at least give it a shot. And he didn't do it. And the fact that a year and a half has gone by means that time has been wasted. And during that time, families have been separated. And during that time, businesses have been harmed. And we can't afford it anymore. So Las Vegas, I've come back to Del Sol to tell you, I'm not giving up. I will never give up. I will never give up. I will not give up. So we're not giving up. We're going to keep on working with members of Congress to make permanent reform a reality. But until that day comes, there are actions that I have the legal authority to take that will help make our immigration system more fair and more just. And this morning, I began to take some of those actions. So I talked about what I could do based on talking to all the legal experts, talking to the Office of Legal Counsel. And not everything that we want to do, we can do. But they told me what we could do. And I wasn't going to sit idly by and not do at least what I was authorized to do. So first, we're providing more resources to law enforcement so they can stem the flow of illegal crossings at our border and speed up the return of those who do cross over. I want to repeat that. Border security is important. Second, we're making it easier for high-skilled immigrants, graduates, entrepreneurs to stay and contribute to our economy. Third, we're going to take steps to deal responsibly with millions of undocumented immigrants who are already here. As I did last night, I want to spend some extra time talking about the third step, because this is the one that brings up the strongest passions on both sides. The truth is, undocumented workers broke our immigration laws. They didn't follow the rules in terms of how they were supposed to come. And I believe they should be held accountable. And some have proven to break other laws. Some are dangerous. That's why over the past 6 years, deportations of criminals are up 80%. And that's why we'll keep focusing enforcement resources on actual threats to our security. But that means felons, not families. That means criminals, not children. It means gang members, not moms who are trying to put food on the table for their kids. So essentially what we're doing is what law enforcement does every day. We've got limited resources, and so we're going to prioritize who are the folks who should be subject to removal, and that means that we've got to make sure that we've got clear rules in terms of how we're enforcing the law. But even as we focus on deporting criminals, the fact is millions of immigrants, they live here. And many of them have been here a very long time. And they're found in every state. And they're of every race and every nationality. I know a lot of people focus on the Latino community. But the truth is that the truth is that they're not just The truth is,